everybody, Lord Tremendous here, got a battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle, battle report number 29. This is the game that decides the bet. And I know what you're thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Well, I'll tell you. Skaven and AZ and my Vermin Swarm opponent, Gnome Runner, have been giving me a line of crap for beating Gnome Runner by the skin of my teeth in our last handful of games. So they got together and Skaven gave them some ideas and stuff like that. They kind of got together and talked about how to do a list or whatnot, and they came up with a pretty much great list in order to play against me. And the bet was if I beat Gnome Runner with the list that they've designed, then I get to do the 10 things I love about the Vermin Swarm in like a rant format. If I lose, then I've got to do the 10 things that I hate about the Vermin Swarm, and I have to do it with a lot of venom and anger and rage and just general lunacy, which I am more than capable of doing. So this is the game that decides what kind of rant I'm doing about the Vermin Swarm, and it's an excellent game. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see how this one goes. Here's my list, and really nothing's changed from the last one because I just jumped right into this game. Didn't really have time to make any changes. I have my lord, the Great Khan Berserk. He's got the Kingslayer, Hardened Shield, Talisman of Greater Shielding, Divine Icon, and Headhunter. Still debating on whether or not to remove Headhunter for Rotten Jaw. I just think with the amount of attacks he potentially could put out, Poison would be a better choice. Next up, I have my hero choices. Of course, I still have my Khan. He's my BSB, he's got Flesh Render, he's got the Mithril Mail, Talisman of Lesser Shielding, and that is it, because that's all he needs. Next up, I have my Shaman, newly named Skaz, Skaven and AZ. He's a level 2 wizard with the Demon Heart and the Path of Butchery, because that's all he gets. Next up, I have my second Shaman, the Combustor. He's a level 2 wizard with Skull Splitter and the Path of Fire, because his job is to kill chaff. Then, of course, I have my personal favorite, my Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's got the Ogre Crossbow, the Heart Rippers, the Yeti Furs, Gemma Dragonfire, Troll Eater, and his trusty Tusker, the War Teddy. This guy kicks ass and takes names. For my core choices, I have a unit of 7x Tribesmen with Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, Heavy Armor, and this particular unit has the War Standard, because this is the unit that my general goes in. Then I have my second unit of 7x Tribesmen, the Good Old Boys. They have a Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, and Heavy Armor as well. And I have my unit of 5 Tribesmen, the Inner Council, with Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, and Heavy Armor. Starting off my special choices, I have my unit of 5 Scrappling Trappers, the Favored Pets. And then, of course, I have my unit of 6 Mercenary Veterans, the Storm of Retribution. They have a Banner, Musician, Iron Fists, Lethal Strike, Thunderous Charge, and the Stalker Standard. This is probably my favorite unit that I have out of everything. My last special choice, of course, is my Kin Eater, Lady Elizabeth. And then for my rare choice, the keystone, the bedrock of my army, I have my Frost Mammoth, Rufus. He's got a couple of Ogre Crossbows and the guys he totes around with him, but he's the real main attraction, let's face it. Absolutely love this guy. But that's going to do it for my list. I'm going to go ahead and post my opponent's list, play some music. Feel free to pause it at any time to see what he took. Here are my spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. And here are my opponent's spells. And I know they're a little bit harder to see because he hasn't painted them or anything like that yet. But if you squint and get real close to your computer, you can hurt your eyes. So, you know, whatever you want to do. Here's deployment, and as you can see, the board is the exact same as it was in my last game. We just re-racked. We didn't change any of the terrain because we didn't care. For the most part, as you can see, I've kind of consolidated my army, put it more in the middle. I've got my trappers just outside of that greenhouse. They're going to dive into it because I figured he had dread mills, and in the house, maybe I can get lucky. My merc vets are positioned so they can shoot in between the houses and make it through, and so I figured I'd try that as opposed to putting them all the way on a flank and losing them for 5 rounds. I've got all my tribesmen and all my characters in the middle there for the most part. I've got Rufus in the back. I've got the Combustor in the woods, and I've got Tremendous off-screen on the right. He's all the way against the right flank, just he didn't make it into the picture because I'm a terrible person. My opponent, as you can see, has done this weird formation of slaves on the sides with the bell in front and whatever the hell's carrying that thing, and all of his characters in it. And then behind them is his furnace with all of his other whatever's pushing them across with dreadmills on his flank. My plan here, I didn't get to deploy first. My opponent deployed first, so I just put everything in the middle to meet with all of his stuff because really there's nothing in his army I'm afraid of. I just want to see what him and Skaven and AZ have come up with to try to slaughter me because I've really been looking forward to this fight and I'm thrilled we got it in. So here's top of 1 after movement, and you're looking at it. I mean, everything comes forward. The dreadmill on the right comes forward, the dreadmill on the left comes forward, and the rest of the units stay in formation. His weapons teams move out a little bit. You can see the rotary gun still on the hill behind his second big brick of rats and the bell. I think the furnace is in front. I'm sorry. But yeah, he's got his naphtha throwers on the sides there, and he's got his rotary gun on the hill. Other than that, everything will just kind of come straight at me. He's not afraid of me at all, which is a little shocking. Nothing happens in his magic phase. In his shooting phase, the dreadmill on the left shoots some slaves, not even worth taking a picture of. So we go into the bottom of 1 after movement, because why the hell not? My merc vets charge his unit, the dreadmill on the left there, and make it. It was I think I needed a 9 to hit, but thanks to Swift Stride, it really wasn't that hard. And then all my tribesmen units try to charge his unit there. My 2 big units of tribesmen try to charge his furnace in the front there, because I know his slaves on the left side wouldn't be able to wheel around the house and get in there on the flank, so I thought that would be fine. And if the other slaves want to come in, I could always use more combat res. I really didn't care. But I failed with both of them. The inner council tried to charge a unit of slaves on the left there and failed there, so they all just kind of come stumbling forward. I was really disappointed there. There were longer charges. I needed like 10s in order to make it. I figured 1 out of the 3 would make it, and that would group everything up there and keep it all there so I could work on the rest of his army. None of that came through for me, so I was really disappointed. So I move Rufus up right behind my general's unit like an inch away so that his 6-inch aura of slow the F down helps. And that's really it. That's all I could do. I was really disappointed. And I was wrong. Lord Tremendous is on the left flank. Don't even ask. Left, right, sideways, whatever. There's a better picture of my merc vet slamming into this dreadmill, and that's awesome because I know they're going to be able to dismantle this thing and I won't have to worry about it anymore. Very happy about that charge. And there's a better picture of all my tribesmen and all my characters failing their damn charge. This is really, really bad because he's not too far off from being able to charge me. I mean, Skaven moved pretty quick, and he's got all the little nasty tricks that give him Swift Stride. I'm not looking forward to his turn. During the magic phase, I think the only spell I'm able to get off is +1 toughness on my general's unit. And I was just trying to get anything off that I could in order to protect those guys because they're the closest and I have a bad feeling they're going to catch a lot of hell very soon. During the shooting phase, Rufus puts a couple of shots into, God, I don't even remember, maybe his slaves, maybe his big unit with the furnace. I kill a handful. You can see him in the top left right behind the slaves. Not a ton, just some minor damage, but better than nothing. Then we go over here, and these guys, they just beat the ever-loving piss out of this dreadmill. They do take a couple of wounds for their trouble. However, we are able to take this thing out. It's one less thing I got to worry about, and the dreadmills make my skin crawl. So to have this thing destroyed so quick in the game really makes me happy. Shortly after I won that combat, I did overrun a little bit. The angle looked different. I thought I could hit the slaves. I don't know what the hell I was looking at, but I was way off. And as you can see, the Merc Vets are in a bad position now. So that was stupid on my part. I should have just reformed. But anyway, we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and he charges, and he makes it into my general's unit. He's got Swift Stride and all that other good stuff. I think he got the thing on the bell where he gets to reroll all charges and stuff like that, all the different stuff, pursue, overrun, flee. So he makes it into my guys, no problem, and that's super bad. He was way too eager to charge me for this to be good for me. The rest of his army moves up to keep pace, and his Naphtha throwers move over to shoot at my Merc Vets, and we all know how that's going to play out. Other than that, his Dreadmill runs down my right flank there to pelt at my tribesmen, and life just keeps getting better and better over here. There's a better picture of that big-ass unit of his slamming into my general's unit, and I'm really nervous about it. I don't know what he can do, but I don't want to find out. This was not combat on my terms. So we go into the magic phase, and as soon as we do, he throws this card down, revealing Ratman. There he is, hiding inside the rest of them. Smug little bastard. He is kitted out, ready to just rip up some ogres, too. During his magic phase, he's able to get one of the spells off that basically lowers my initiative by D3, and of course he rolls a 5, so my initiative just went down by 3, so he's going to get the strike before me, because now we're on even playing field with initiative. In order to get that spell off, though, he did overwhelming power it, and ended up rolling a miscast 5, which does result in a bunch of his little ratted arm guys dying, which is always fine with me. The more rats that die, the better. During the shooting phase, my tribesmen with my BSB are the closest unit to the Doom Wheel, and he's able to shoot and kill one of my tribesmen, which sucks. But that's what those things do. What can you do? Then over here, these fucking Naphtha throwers, unbelievable. They both shoot. I mean, it was one Naphtha thrower and it was his rotary gun, but he was on point with these damn things. And the Naphtha thrower does like D6 wounds a hit or something just fucking stupid. It drives me crazy. So 5 fucking Merc Vets get obliterated by this 12-point piece of shit weapons team. Oh my god, my entire unit's just vaped, and the one guy I've got left has a wound on him. It wasn't just the Naphtha team, it was both the rotary machine gun guy and the Naphtha thrower, but those things, if they're not nerfed, then somebody on the Vermin Swarm Army Book team is sleeping with an exec member, because holy crap. I'm not usually the one to jump on the whole that's OP type thing, but that's way too powerful. Come on. Let's find the one thing to give him a massive advantage over ogres, and let's make it worth like 12 points so we can take like 16 of them. What do you need damn bricks for if all you have is Naphtha throwers against an ogre army? Just shoot at them. You could just sit back and shoot at them, you know, while they're in a swarm or something like that. What the hell? I mean, it's 65 points. 65 frickin' points. How does that work? How does that translate into balance? 2d6 shots, d3 wounds, flaming, magical, volatile. I mean, come on. Come on. Help me get there. Help me understand why this thing at 65 points is balance. And then we go into combat, and this is about as bad of combat I've ever had in my life. Not that my opponent did anything wrong. He actually beautifully just destroyed my unit. So he kills every single tribesman in my general's unit. Everything in that damn unit does multiple wounds, or has really high strength, or reroll hits, or some crazy insanity, right? And so all my tribesmen are dead. I do get a handful of attacks back, which I mostly flub. My general was able to take out his general, I think. But when he had like 9 attacks at strength 9 thanks to the Kingslayer, because he has like 4 characters in that unit. But yeah, I was able to kill, I think, his general. maybe not his general, maybe just his tyrant or something. Whatever had that Doomslayer sword, I was able to kill that thing, but not before he did his work. And then I put all the rest of his attacks like into Ratman, and I failed to hit him like all 4 or 5 times. All the attacks I threw at him all missed. Couldn't believe it. So that sucked. He wins by a landslide. Just murders all my tribesmen. All that I have left is my general in the end. He doesn't even get a chance to stand. He breaks. He runs 3 inches and gets run down, okay? So my opponent, of course, pursues because he's not stupid. He hits my inner council unit, which passes their panic. My Rufus passes his panic check. But as you can see, my BSB's unit fails their fucking panic check. Oh my god. And then they flee a good distance and they almost make it off the table. That like by an inch. They're barely still on the table. So in one round of combat, like top of 2, my general's dead. A huge unit of tribesmen are dead. My mercenaries are basically neutered. And my BSB with his unit are almost fled off the table. So this is going well. So we go to bottom of 2 after movement, and I'm out of options, guys. I mean, I don't know what else to do, so I charge Rufus in, because he's screwed. There's nothing else I can do. I know the inner council is dead. I know I'm in a ton of trouble, and so all I can hope is that I can do something to these guys with Rufus. You know, maybe I'll get a bunch of thunderstomps. Maybe I'll get a good impact hit rolls. I don't know. I need to do something, and I need to do it fast. Tremendous comes running up because he's got to get in his fight now. My one remaining Merc vet turns to face the slaves because he, of course, wasn't in charge, or he couldn't see anything to charge it because I overran like a moron. And then the Naphtha throwers, pieces of shit that they are, killed 5 of them because, you know, 65 points should have that kind of killing capacity. Fuck you. The only good thing really that happens is that my BSB's unit rallies and turns the face. So there's something. At least I have a chance to get back into this fight. The Combustor moves over to try to take out the other Naphtha thrower before it can spit its garbage everywhere. And, yeah, Elizabeth doesn't come on the table because that's the kind of game I'm going to have. There's a better picture of my raw desperation as I send Rufus into this unit. I know it's a bad call, but what else was I going to do? And there's a better picture of my BSB's unit rallying. But, you know, I should be mad that they broke in the first place, but all things considered, I think they just had better perspective than I did. I'm not 100%. During the magic phase, I'm able to get +1 toughness off on Skaz's unit, as well as Blizzard off on the Furnace unit. So they're at -1 to hit, they're at -1 leadership from Blizzard, plus another -1 from the fear that Rufus causes. The problem is they're frenzied, immune to psychology, all that other good stuff. So fear and stuff like that isn't something that's going to work out for me, but the -1 to hit might help. The +1 toughness to my tribesmen, my inner council, and Skaz might help, because if I get Skaz killed, especially to Vermin, Skaven AZ is going to be mad at me, and I just can't have that. Over here, my trappers. Oh, these guys. I love them so much. They shoot everything they have at that fucking Naphtha thrower and kill it. And then I piss on the corpse. I'm glad it's dead. I hate it more than elves. I hate it. So, damn, I love my trappers. So we go into combat, and it's not great. Skaz, I'm sorry, buddy, you got murdered. I mean, straight up thunder murdered. It was not cool. Yeah, he directed all of Ratman's attacks at Skaz and just opened him up from chin to groin. Just nothing you can do. I do lose 1 other tribesman. Rufus takes a couple of wounds. But I actually don't do terrible. As you can see, I killed a whole bunch of the unit. I wasn't able to kill any characters or anything like that. I did direct Rufus's attacks into that tyrant on the Rat Ogre. I think in the end, I don't remember exactly how much I lose by, but I do lose by like 3 or 4. Rufus has the reroll, and so I make my checks, and I fail them all. I failed 3 of them because the tribesmen they weren't close enough to the BSB to be re-rolling, but Rufus was. So the tribesmen I roll like boxcars on, so it wouldn't have mattered if they were stubborn. They flee, and then Rufus both rolls I rolled like a 10 and a 9, and he didn't make it. General's dead. Rufus is only an 8, and he fled. They decide to pursue the tribesmen, and the tribesmen get caught no problem, and Rufus, he ends up right there with these guys an inch away. And guess whose turn it is next? This is unbelievable. The only positive thing is the combustor made his check. So that's something, I guess, but holy crap. I'm not going to have any teeth left with this after this ass whooping. Oh my god. So we go over here to top of 3, and of course he charges Rufus. Rufus has no choice but to flee, and he gets off the table. His charge range obviously puts him off the table, but he'll be back. Rufus won't. And the rest of his army just kind of turns around and looks. His other dreadmill comes down the right flank to shoot at my tribesmen, and I can't blame him. His slaves kind of look at me funny, and that's it. The Bell unit just kind of looks at the combustor funny, and that's it. And his other unit of slaves just kind of stays where they are because they could care less. I mean, really, he's mopping up at this point. I'm getting desperate. I'm not quitting, but I don't know how I'm going to pull this one off. There's a better picture of them running Rufus off back home. And you know what? That's okay. The way I see it, Rufus survived. He gave up his points, but he survived. He survived to fight another day. And I'm trying to find a silver lining here. Don't you take it from me. Don't you do it. During the magic phase, he gets Mind Razor off on his unit of slaves because he knows my BSB's unit's thinking about charging them. And I don't want to charge a big old brick of slaves that are going to be auto-wounding me for every hit that they do. Not that they're going to hit me a lot, but it's just I'm not having a whole lot of luck with the whole combat thing. But we'll see. We'll see. I hadn't decided at this point what I was going to do. My opponent was also able to get something off where you have to take an initiative test, or you take a bunch of wounds, or the model dies, or something like that. It's like a little small template. I don't remember what the spell was called. It's right there. I can't friggin' read it. But in the end, I only take like another wound or two. It doesn't do the damage that it should have done because I rolled low, which is excellent. And so no models are removed, but one guy's on his deathbed. So at least he joins the rest of the army, right? And then in the shooting phase, he actually misfires with his Dreadmill, which is awesome, but it's a misfire 6, which means the shot still goes off. However, that's the last time this thing can shoot this turn. It could have been a lot better. Doesn't get much worse than that with a misfire, but at least it's the last shot I have to worry about from this damn thing. Like I said, the shot does still go off. He hits and kills one of my tribesmen and puts a wound on another one, because it's like 3 shots. So yeah, I mean, it's the last thing I gotta worry about from that thing other than combat, and you know, at this point I gotta see the positive. I gotta focus on that. Over here, the other little naphtha thing fires into my house where my trappers are. It also misfires, but it's a 6, so same thing. It can't shoot for the rest of the game, but the shot still goes off. Who the hell wrote this book with these damn weapons teams? Come on, guys! Needless to say, the damn thing misfires. It can't shoot the rest of the game, but it was still able to kill 3 of my trappers, which of course causes the panic check, which understandably makes my trappers flee. They don't flee far. They flee about 4 or 5 inches. They get to the other side of that wall at the bottom of the picture there. I didn't take a picture of it because I'm trying to salvage my game. And I'm just running out of units to do it, you know? So that sucks. But then the other weapons team, the rotary gun thingamabobber, opens fire and takes out my last man-eater, mercenary veteran, which I get it. That's actually fine. That's exactly what should have happened. But the whole D3 wounds, just unbelievable. 65 points destroyed my 400 and something point unit because I cannot fathom how they got 65 points for a naphtha thrower. I cannot fathom how logical human beings thought that was a good idea. I'm going to do a rant on that damn weapons team by itself. The rotary gun, fine with it. Totally get it. That's fine. The naphtha fire thrower team, kiss my ass. So with no combat, we go over here to bottom of 3 after movement, And I get desperate. Lord Tremendous charges the flank of the Bells unit and actually makes it, thank God. My hope there is that he can do enough damage to break this unit and run them down and try to get me some much needed points. My BSB's unit tries to charge that unit as well. I needed a 9 or a 10 to make it, and I fail. I take some dangerous terrain checks. I think I take another wound. The Combustor tried charging them as well because he needed to get out of the way of the tribesman unit with the BSB. He fails as well because FML. My scraplings, the trappers, they actually rally because I'm rolling low and the trappers are reliable, so I respect that. And Elizabeth doesn't come on the table again. I'm really getting sick of that. There's a better picture of Lord Tremendous making his charge into the Bell unit, and a better picture of the Combustor, the BSB, and the Tribesmen failing their charge. It was a longer charge for the Tribesmen, I get that, but I didn't want to send them into the Slaves because I was really worried about, Mind Razor just completely tearing me up, and the fact that the Combustor didn't make it, probably just self-preservation. And there's a better picture of my Trappers rallying, and those little guys are so reliable. During the magic phase, I just throw what I can out. I do a little bit of damage with Fireball and the lore attribute to the slave unit. I kill, 3, 6, 7 of them. I mean, it's not a huge big deal, but hey, I've got nothing else going for me, so I just 5 dice the big one for fun. Of course, since I threw more than 3 dice, I overwhelming power it and end up miscasting 6. Which results in the Combustor taking a wound and pretty much ending my magic phase, which is fine. I mean, I got the spell off that I wanted. It was fun. I'll take the wound. So we go into combat, and Tremendous kicks the crap out of this unit. Ends up killing like 7 of them, which is absolutely fantastic. He does, I think, take a wound for his trouble, which is a little disturbing. But I win this combat. Of course he's steadfast, and he makes his break check. But he's taking them. That's what's important. Due to the fact that my opponent's not an idiot, he makes his leadership check, and of course turns to face Tremendous. So at least now the battle will be fun. So we go over here to top of 4 after movement, and not a ton. His slave unit charges the Combustor, who stands and shoots, and I think I killed 2 more, which is something. He tries to charge his other slave unit into the flank of Tremendous, but he can't make the angle and stay off the wall, so he has to reposition some stuff. It's a little weird. He tried to do it, and he ended up with like his left file of that unit on top of the wall, which, after looking it up, is apparently illegal. You can't end your turn on top of a wall. So that was, or you can't end your movement anyway on top of a wall. His Doom Wheel, of course, comes running over to the Tribesman. He can't shoot, but he can charge. And his big unit with the Furnace come back on the table and look at the BSB's unit because Ogre Flesh is the best flesh, apparently. Other than that, his rotary gun just kind of looks at Tremendous because it can shoot into combat and it doesn't care about killing the other rats. And that is about it. There's a better picture of his slave slamming into my Combustor, and that's just him cleaning up what's left. During his magic phase, he's able to get the -1 initiative spell, or negative D3 initiative off on Tremendous, and ends up just taking 1 off, which really isn't a big deal. But in the shooting phase, the rotary gun thing opens up on Tremendous. He takes out a couple of his own little guys, but he slips a wound through on him, and that thing's tough. We go into combat, and I heavily debate sending my attacks after the Magister, but I end up going after just a unit because I don't want him to be steadfast. I figure I can break him just as easy if I could just make him not steadfast anymore. So I end up taking out like 5 more guys in total. He does nothing back to me with 2 ranks and a banner to my 5 wounds. I win this combat. He is still steadfast, and he still makes his break check, which isn't unexpected, but I'm whittling him down, and I feel good about that. In combat over here, however, the Combustor goes down like a sack of potatoes. Just FUD. The slaves are able to literally get 3 wounds through on him before he can do anything at all. He dies, and you know what? The Combustor is not geared for combat, but there was no point in fleeing because he just would have went off the table. What can you do? And then the follow-up, my opponent's slaves overrun and slam into my BSB's unit, who did pass their panic check, by the way, when the Combustor died. So that was something. But now they're in battle with the slaves, which just means they get to stick it out right there so that the big unit with the Furnace can come in as well as the Doom Wheel. So they're dead. So here's the bottom of 4 after movement, and really the only thing I have left that's not in combat are a couple of trappers. They run over to the furnace unit and get ready to throw stuff at it. That's all I got left. He has beat my ass off the table. It's really looking like I'm going to get tabled. I'm not pleased. But I'm not pleased because I'm going to get tabled. Who would be? But at the same time, I'm very, very impressed with this list and how well my opponent's playing it. So, yeah. There's good and there's bad, you know? So we go into combat right away because there's just nothing else. I have no magic. I have not my shooting. I think maybe I killed one of the little plague guys with my trappers. Not even worth taking a picture of. So we go into combat over here, and I only kill 3 rat-at-arms. Not great. I still win this combat because he doesn't do anything back to me. He's got rank and a banner to my 3 wounds. I win by 1. He's still steadfast and could give a crap. Over here, I'm able to slaughter the slaves. I do lose a tribesman for my trouble. They do get a couple of wounds in themselves. But I'm able to beat them to death pretty good. Not enough to make them unsteadfast, but it wouldn't have mattered. At best, I would have charged into the rear of the little bell thing. That would have bought me some points, maybe some time, but the inevitable is coming, and there's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, here's top of 5, and are you surprised? His furnace unit plows into my BSB's unit. His dreadmill does the exact same thing. He goes through the forest, takes all of his dangerous terrain checks, all 4 of them, because it's a chariot going through a forest, doesn't roll anything lower than a 5. Oh man, the dice gods have turned on me. No, my opponent's playing his list beautifully and is just shoving it down my throat. And then his slaves, he's able to get them in there this time and slam into the flank of Tremendous, which that's a lot of combat res I'm going to have to get through now, and I just don't think I have it in them to do it. Other than that, nothing else happens. There's been a picture of my BSB's unit's demise, just everything slamming into him. And there's a better picture of the slaves joining in a fight with Lord Tremendous. So, since I have no casters left, my opponent has no problem getting Mind Razor off on the slaves that just charge into Tremendous. The only thing I can hope on here is that my 2-up armor save protects him against all the Strength 3 wounds he's about to take. We go into combat. I'm able to kill, I think, 5 or 6 of his guys. In return, he's able to do nothing. However, he's got charge, flank, super flank, 1, 2, 3 ranks, and a banner to my 5 wounds, it looks like. He wins by 2, but Lord Tremendous is a frickin' beast, man. And he needed a 7 to stay, and he sticks it because he's the effing man. So, yeah, maybe, I'm hoping at this point, I can take out the Bell's unit, like the actual infantry guys, and secure those points that I desperately need. Combat over here, though, does not go well at all. I flub. Not that I had a whole lot to attack with by the time I was done. My BSB ends up in a challenge with, I think, Ratman, who just eviscerates me. I mean, it's actually it's very impressive. My 3 tribesmen with the, what's it called, Dreadmill and everything like that, all its impact hits and its grind and all its attacks, he beats the crap out. I lose 3 tribesmen. I only kill a couple of little plague guys. I don't think I do anything to the slaves. I lose this combat by everything auto break, and I get run down. You know, I'd be upset if I wasn't so numb to it right now. Actually, it was pretty cool to be a part of to see my ogres get slaughtered like that. Very well played by my opponent. So go over here to bottom of 5 after movement. My trappers move up to keep throwing stuff at the plague guys because there's just no other targets worth throwing stuff at. And that's it. Everything else I have is dead and buried or in combat. So we go straight into combat, because like I said, I got nothing left, and Tremendous is able to kill 6 of that unit in front of me this time. I take a wound from the mind-razored slaves, so I've only got 1 left. I'm hanging on by a thread, but with a couple more rounds of combat, I know I can finish off the Magister's unit, and then if I can beat down enough slaves, I can force the panic check, maybe make this thing break. I'm not going to be able to pursue it unless, of course, the slaves break, but I don't know, with the Magister gone, if the General's not near enough, which I'm not really sure which one the General is anymore, maybe the Slaves will break too. I can run down a Magister on the Bell and get a bunch of points. It's not going to help me win, but, you know, it'd be a better showing. That's what I'm hoping for. And since all my turn stuff has become very efficient due to lack of models, we go over here to top of 6 after movement. And there's not a ton. The stuff that overran, pursued my 1 remaining tribesmen come back on the table. They sit right where they're at. And then the big unit with the furnace turn to face the trappers, who are going to start skedaddling. That's it for movement. During the magic phase, there's nothing I can do about it. My opponent's able to get Mind Razor off onto slaves again. I do try to stop it with what I can, but he's got a level 4 to my level non-existent anymore. He gets the spell off, and it's, yeah, what can you do? In the shooting phase, though, that's how he ends this combat, which I think is suiting, considering. He takes his little rotary gun guy on the hill, shoots up at Lord Tremendous. He has been scattering it into his own units, you know, the random thing. As you can see, there's a dead slave over there, and I think maybe one of the guys in the bell thing has made it. But the dice gods have determined that Tremendous is going to take the brunt of these shots, and he gets the last wound through on Tremendous and kills him. Nothing I could do about it, and yeah, Tremendous falls, but man, did he put up a fight. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's the end of the game. It goes to bottom of 6 because combat's no longer a thing. My trappers run over to the bell, fire off some shots at the rat-at-arms, and I think I don't do a damn thing. Either he makes his armor save or I just don't wound at all. So we just call it because the game is over. And that's the way it sits. As you can see, I have no teeth anymore because he kicked all of them out of my mouth. It was amazing. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and get right into the recap because, oh my God, this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
So it was a wholesale defeat for Lord Tremendous. I got 418 points out of him. He got 2,730 out of me for a difference of 2,312. Holy bejesus! I lost everything but 2 trappers. The only thing I can hold on to from this loss is that I didn't get tabled. So there, eat that, Gnome Runner, you haven't tabled me. So it has to be said, first and foremost, that Skaman and AZ and Gnome Runner can put together a pretty amazing army list for Vermin Swarm. I was super unprepared for this, and I righteously got my ass kicked, and I'm okay with that. Excellent job, you guys. Really, really amazing, and very well played by Gnome Runner. I'm not going to take anything from him. He played this list beautifully and kicked my candy ass. Due to the conditions of the bet, I will be making a 10 things I hate about Vermin Swarm rant very, very soon. It'll be the next video I put up after this one. So yes, expect that to come, and yes, expect some serious venom about the naphtha throwers, those damn things. Well, I mean, I honestly don't think that if I had made those original charges in turn 1, it would have really changed the outcome of this game. But missing those charges definitely hurt. It would have given me my impact hits, it would have given me some more momentum, maybe even a little bit extra combat res. But man, missing those charges and setting myself up like that really, really hurt. I could not take that brick one-on-one, and my opponent knew it, and he took it to me, and good on him. Lord Tremendous was amazing. Had I gotten one more turn of combat, I think I could have taken out that unit. And it wouldn't have won me the game, it wouldn't have even drawn me the game, but it would have been a better showing. And, you know, now I'm starting to get a real racism towards Vermin Swarm. The mercenary veterans, what happened to them was highway robbery, total garbage. A 65-point unit should not do that much damage. Kiss my ass. There's no way that's okay. No. Naphtha throwers are fucking garbage, and God himself couldn't convince me otherwise, so don't even try. Going up against this army did remind me of why I took the Scratapult before, and I missed it in this game. Would it have won me the game? Absolutely not. However, it really could have helped me lower the amount of infantry I had to deal with. So I'm not happy with the list the way it is currently. I don't like how concentrated all my points are. So I'm thinking I'm going to be bringing back the Scratapult in some way, shape, or form my next game. So, yeah, like I've already said, Naphtha throwers can kiss the fattest part of my ass. I am 150% disgusted with that 65-point unit of Massacre. I mean, honestly, if you wanted to just give the Vermin Swarm the ability to destroy multi-wound models, give them a 65-point magic item and be done with it. Use once per game, auto-kill a monster, and then call it the big middle finger of bad writing. On the other hand, though, the rotary gun thing was cool. I don't have a problem with that. My opponent had so many multiple wounding characters. It was amazing. And Mind Razor on his slaves was ugh. At least they didn't kill Lord Tremendous. That was done by the rotary gun team, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, anybody who says that Vermin Swarm can't do close combat just has to watch this battle report to find out they're wrong. So yeah, Ratman was a whirling dervish of devastation. I don't even mind telling you. Hence the reason he's on the screen so much. And if you notice, he's sitting on top of a I beat Lord Tremendous green die. For those of you that may or may not know, the first time you beat me, I give you a green die, and you get to keep that forever. And the first time I beat you, I give you a red die that says I got beat by Lord Tremendous. Well, Gnome Runner finally earned himself a green die. So congratulations, buddy. Holy crap, did you earn that one. I know I bitched a lot about the Naphtha team, and I'm not going to stop. Sorry, I have a deep-seated hatred for that model now. However, I really did enjoy this game. Even though I lost, it's very unconventional, in my opinion, to see a Vermin Swarm list that's combat-oriented and that can take it to a Ogre Con list. So, very impressed with this list, like I've said before, and I really did enjoy playing this game, even though it resulted in me being neutered. Of course, this was an absolutely outstanding game against an outstanding opponent. And yes, I'm talking about Gnome Runner and Skaven and AZ. And I'm very much looking forward to the rematch because I know my opponent's going to change his list up a little bit and he cannot see what he throws at me next time. And I would be out of my mind to believe that Skaven and AZ and Gnome Runner aren't currently, conspiracizing another list to beat me. Really looking forward to it, though. This was a lot of fun. Real quick, I want to say thank you to everybody that supports me, that allows me to say thank you to them on my battle reports, that support me through Patreon and PayPal. Alex of the Vale Renegades, South Florida's Gamermancy team, and Daniel Jolson. Thank you guys very, very much, and thank you to everybody who supports me through those things and won't allow me to thank them publicly. So I hope I continue to earn your patronage, guys. Thank you. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Battle Report number 29 is done, complete, finito, and in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comments section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.